I did a video recently on different locations where you can go to roller skate. For instance, open roller hockey rinks at the park, open basketball courts at the park, parking garages, parking lots of schools, bike trails, tennis courts, and a few others. One thing that I did not touch on in that video is the serious truth that whenever roller skaters occupy these spaces, they are often bullied or pressured into leaving. We are the ones expected to move. And don't get me wrong, I'm not referring to the times where somebody kindly comes up and asks me to share the space when there are no other spaces available. I'm talking about when someone's roller skating at a park, on the basketball courts, and there's several courts, and somebody comes directly to the basket to shoot hoops right above where you are skating, forcing you to retreat. In my personal experience, situations like these are all too common, and it makes me wonder sometimes, why aren't there any designated spaces for roller skaters and rollerbladers? I don't like using the term safe space, but for lack of a better word, there really isn't one besides roller rinks for roller skaters. For example, even skate parks are primarily taken over by skateboarders, which is totally fine. I don't mind, but that's just facts, at least in my area. It only becomes a problem when skateboarders bully and push beginner roller skaters out of the space and intimidate them and take advantage of the fact that they are outnumbered. And I have seen this done on some occasions. It's pretty rare though. It becomes a problem when someone is roller skating on a public tennis court that, by the way, does not have any signage saying no roller skating allowed. And people come in, two people, let's say a couple come in and claim that one net where the skater is enjoying themselves, while at the same time there are 6, 7, 8 other whole nets that they could play on. It's disrespectful at that point. This becomes a problem when roller skaters, especially black skaters, are hanging out in a parking garage and the cops come and claim that people are complaining about you being there. This becomes a problem when I'm practicing a dance move at an outdoor hockey rink at a public park and hockey players come in and decide that they are going to shoot their pucks right through my legs as if I'm not even there, as if I don't have any right to be there. Now, I'm sure some people might argue that the hockey players should have first dibs because that is a space that has nets and they're trying to practice their roller hockey game. However, they're not paying for that space outside of, tax dollars if they live in that area, but they don't own that rink. I have just as much right of being in that space as they do. This really does become an issue, psychologically wise and safety wise. Why isn't there a dedicated space for roller skaters to go? And I'm talking outside of the roller rink. Some people don't enjoy that space because it's too crowded a lot of the times. And for me personally, especially in nice weather, I prefer to be outside. So in my experience, I know that there aren't many safe spaces for me to go and roller skate in an open area outside without getting kicked out, bullied, intimidated into moving. And maybe you've had similar experiences. So at this point, what can we do about it? Right now, speaking for myself, I'm working really hard to be able to speak up more and communicate my boundaries when somebody is unnecessarily claiming a space that I claimed first. If hockey players come in while I'm dancing on the rink, especially if it's only 1 or 2 people coming in to join me, I might ask them or suggest, hey, how about you take this side and I'll take this side, or at least how about you take this net and please do not shoot into this net over where I'm dancing, at least for the next 30 minutes to an hour so that I can enjoy my time and not feel forced to get up and go immediately whenever a hockey player comes in. I have done this, and not all the time, but most of the time, people are like, yeah, sure. Especially, like I said, if it's only 1 or 2 people, they'll just let me have one side and they will use the goal and the net on the opposite side. And it has taken me a little bit of time, but I no longer leave the skate park just because I feel intimidated or outnumbered by skateboarders. At this point, it doesn't really faze me. I know when I was a beginner, I would leave right away whenever it would get a little bit crowded. There's this sense of imposter syndrome that comes up in me when I'm the only roller skater at a skate park and there's all these skateboarders around. And that sense of imposter syndrome still stays at times, especially when I'm the only one. But I don't let it get to me because we're all just there to have fun. That feeling of insecurity is not their problem. They are minding their business. I'm minding my own business. So I need to check myself, just take a deep breath and continue on. If I want to go, I'll go. But I'm not going to go just because there are some skateboarders who seem a little bit intimidating. One thing though is that for me, if a cop is asking me to vacate a premises, I'm gonna get out of there, even if I truly know that it's for a BS reason. I'm gonna comply. I'm not messing with that. I never question cops, even if they seem nice. Do you think it's my right to know the reason behind why an officer is telling me to leave a space that's public property, as far as I'm concerned? Let me know. The same thing goes if I'm by myself and a group of, let's say, bigger guys is being intimidating towards me and trying to get me to leave. I'm not gonna question it. I'm gonna be out. I'm 5'1", I weigh 115 pounds. There's no chance for me at that point. So know your limits. You gotta know when to speak up and when to back off. Find somewhere to skate, claim your space. And if you missed the video about different skate spaces that you can go ahead and click right here.